Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. Happy fall. We are going to do a fall inspired look today. Full face, get ready with me. If you want to check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and thanks for being here. Okay friends, let's get right on into this. I'm going to attempt, I say this a lot, I'm going to attempt to make this short and sweet while showing you the full face. About half of you guys love all of the explanations, details, tips and tricks, and the other half say these are way too long. So, you know me, I'm going to try to make everybody happy. Let's see if we can do cat hair. That was right into the video, already a cat hair. Let's see if we can do our full face without taking forever, because this makeup does not take forever. I just talk a lot. I apologize. We're gonna prime the eyes. This is Elizabeth Mott's Thank Me Later. I have it linked down below in every single video because it is the only eyeshadow primer that works great for my eyes, my oily, mature eyes. I always do this first so it has time to set before I go in with my makeup. I have already prepped this. It's very important. Do it before you sit down so it is drying and it'll be perfect by the time we get to that step. All right, so you guys can probably guess. I'm definitely gonna be using some of the new shades for this look. But I really want to focus on fall eyes because I feel like fall eyes are so fun. So I'm going to use my sweater as inspiration per usual, and we're going to do a really pretty fall look. We'll see how it comes out. I got my 3D brushes. Let's do a 3D face. So all I have on my skin right now is I did do my skincare this morning. It is definitely set a while. I used my glow screen, sunscreen, no primer needed. Only primer is for your eyes. I am going to, let's see, what colors am I gonna use today? I feel like I might be able to get away with a little bit darker because my self tan is fresh. So I'm gonna start with my color corrector. This is gonna hit all the darkest points of my face. It's gonna color correct blue, purple, redness, darkness, hyperpigmentation, what else? Everything, literally everything. I believe if you can use one corrector that does it all, why not just use one? There's no use to using multiple. So I'm gonna use my Magic Mango. I'm gonna go ahead and start this time with my blend brush because I feel like I'm having a pretty good skin day. I wanna keep it really light-handed. And so I'm just gonna hit the darkest points first. So broken capillaries, my entire nose. If you couldn't tell, my entire nose is the darkest area of my face. And I don't like that. I'm sorry, I never will. I will never accept it. I need it to match. It bothers me. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to my rosacea. I got rosacea here on the cheeks. I've got a lot of hyperpigmentation right here at my orbital bone. So I'm trying to kind of like blend with buffing, and then I also kind of stipple and press as well. I know my face enough by now to kind of know where I need more. And so it's like habit. By now I know if I need more, I go in with this pressing motion without even thinking about it. But if you're new, just buff on your corrector everywhere you need it. Since I'm gonna go in with my darker mane today, I don't have to be as strategic with getting this on my full face because when my self tan has faded, I use Sandy. Sandy doesn't color correct like very well at all. Not without a load of product, and I'm not willing to use that much product. I want it to look like skin. So when I'm a little bit darker, I can use Hazel which is one of the new shades as my main, and it does color correct way more than Sandy does. But I can't just use it by itself. It still isn't enough. I need my magic mango. Okay, so now I'm gonna color correct on my eyes. This is also toning my eyes because my eyes are the lightest point of my face. So I'm not just color correcting, I'm putting a light hand around everywhere, if you can see that. Very light hand, but enough that no longer, like it's no longer the lightest point of my face. It kind of like decreases the contrast between the darkest points and the lightest points, okay? And so I get that question a lot where people are like, my under eyes are so light. You might have light under eyes and not think you need a corrector, but your corrector can really help tie that in so the contrast isn't so great. And so you look like it's not gonna stand out and be a distraction. So I tone and then I go back in and now I'm gonna press. So now I'm gonna press where I have depth, which is, this is the color correction part. So I have some hyperpigmentation, I got veins, those inner corner depth that so many of us have, and then more hyperpigmentation. Both my eyes are very different. Most people's are. Okay, then I'm gonna assess. Not too bad. Yeah, I'm not nearly as, got a blemish right there, but okay, very light-handed mango, right? And I have to keep it light because if I go in with Hazel, it'll pull me too warm if I'm not careful and if my self-tanner hasn't developed enough. But I'm gonna go ahead and, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the blush brush. Still keep it really light, just barely tap in. But I'm just gonna tap this on all over to even me out. Now this color won't like tone down the warmth of mango as much, which is why I had to be lighter with the mango than normal. I hope that makes sense. Hazel, Sandy. Sandy's more neutral. Hazel's got more warmth, not nearly as warm as mango. It's a science, guys. It's literally a science. And that's why it took me years to understand color matching. Okay, so I'm just kind of tapping this so it doesn't move any of that mango I already placed. Real light all over. And those areas that I did not even touch with mango, which is most of my forehead. Now you don't necessarily have to put highlight everywhere. For me, because I have freckles everywhere, I almost have, like it, not that I need to, but like it helps give that evenness to my skin. If you have freckles, you understand what I'm saying. Okay, then I'm gonna go back to that small end of the blend, back into Hazel, and now I'm gonna build up coverage. Here's where I'm gonna focus on those areas that are still standing out to me. And it's always my eyes. It's always those under eyes. So I'm just tapping where I need more coverage. I'm gonna also go in around my nose because of these small little areas. But my nose, since it is the darkest point, can take a little bit more makeup than the rest of my face. Like it needs more in order to kind of bring it down to matching. So if you have some areas that are your difficult points, like darker points like hyperpigmentation, those areas might need more. You might have to layer and put more coverage on some parts of your face as opposed to others. But as long as you can't see it like looking obvious or cakey, if it's looking cakey, that just means your color's too light and you need to correct first. Okay. There you go. Highlights down. Let's go ahead and contour. Details my ride or die. What color should I use? Sometimes when I use Hazel, I feel like it might pull me overall too warm if I go in with Cedar, which is the newer contour, and I've been using it on repeat. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with Astoria. This one's cooler, a little bit darker. I feel like mine needs to be melted down because it is dry and has a big hole in it. Okay, so we're just gonna go from the top of the ear. We're just gonna kind of press towards the corner of the eye, stop right there. Now I'm gonna use a little bit more pressure and I'm gonna start pressing upwards. Can you guys see my bruise has gotten so much better? It turned about every single color imaginable and it literally looked like I had swatched that new Spellbound on my hand. It's like pretty lime green right there, but like it looked like I had swatched. So actually, I think someone asked me, do you have a swatch on your hand? People know me well. No, that's just because I attempted to play sports and I'm getting too old. I will not stop though. I will keep trying. Especially when my daughter now has an interest in what was my all-time favorite sport. I love volleyball. I miss it. I played up until I got pregnant with my third child. And I couldn't fall anymore. So I had to quit my adult league. And that was almost 7 years ago. That should be my first hint, right? Okay, I'm just gonna tap this on around the hairline, pushing up into my hairline, pulling down into that other highlight. No harsh lines there. Then I'm gonna go up under the jaw. And I feel like I'm probably gonna need a little bronzer. So I'm glad I went with my cool contour. My rule of thumb is it's nice to be able to have both a warm and a cool shade. Some days our skin is just like finicky and your cool shade won't blend. You might need to mix in a little bit of your warm. You might put on your cool shade and be like, eh, and then tap into a little bit of your warm shade, put it on over it, and it blends like a dream. Some days you might wanna skip the bronzer and just use a warmer contour. Some days you wanna mix them 50-50. Sometimes you wanna like put your cool contour here, warm contour here, and get more kind of like depth. It's really fun to play with contour once you get the basics down. And once you understand that, it's cool to have more than one in your palette. Okay. Like now that we have cedar, I forgot, like I need to put indigo back in my palette. It's one of my very favorites for fall. It is warmer, but it is such a pretty fall tone. Like that would have looked pretty with the look I have envisioning. Okay. Gosh, I really need to melt this. It's so dry. Still using Astoria here. Okay, I am gonna use a touch of bronzer and I have been liking High Tide. I'm gonna try just using that. Granted, it's right next to my Glow Illuminator, so like it's kind of hard to just to tap into one bronzer. I find that having them side by side really helps because it's like the size of your brush, right? And it helps me kind of swirl. So by the time my tan develops, my neck's gonna be nice and dark. That's okay. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit. You guys, can you hear that? That's wind. It's very windy today. I swear if it's not raining, it's windy lately. Where's all these beautiful fall days that I long for? All right, now it's brighten. I feel yellow. Can you tell that I'm looking yellow? I don't know what it is lately. I've been, delivery, I wonder what that is. I've been feeling yellow lately, so I'm gonna go in with that Palace, which is the newer pink shade. I really like this to balance on days, and I feel like this does not accentuate texture like some of our other lighter shades do. So Palace is about the same depth as White Peach and Aura if you wear either of those, but White Peach, a little bit more towards the white, it does still have some yellow. Aura, very much more yellow, and then this new Palace is pink. And you guys, I'm not pink at all. Like, I didn't think I'd ever be able to wear this color because it really doesn't match my undertones, but it goes on without looking cakey. I feel like it's very universal, at least so far on the clients that I've matched it to. I think it's really working well. What do you guys think? Have you tried it? I would love to know your guys' thoughts. If you hated it, please let me know. I don't know. I just, like, I can't wear white peach. It pulls textured on me, but I can wear palace. And so I was pleasantly surprised because I wasn't expecting it. And you might be like, Sarah, that didn't tone down the yellow at all, but we are to this step. And this, I know will. When in doubt, perfect it out. That should be my new motto. If you're new here, you might be like, this girl is crazy, but I swear by this. I literally can't do my makeup without it, and that's not an exaggeration. And it's like once you like discover the power of the perfector, you feel like your makeup doesn't ever look as good when you don't use it, and then it becomes a necessity. I know I'm not alone. I know some of you guys have told me the same thing. Yeah, let me know if I need to do another video showing you how to perfect it, prep it properly. So I just kind of bounced that all over. Now I'm gonna focus a little bit longer under the eyes. Again, I'm just kind of like tapping. I'm always rotating, which is important. If you feel it cold, as soon as it starts feeling warm, I rotate. Okay, concentrate where you're gonna have, where you could have creasing, which is, for me, smile lines under the eyes. All right, there you go. I'm trying to go fast, guys. Let's see. I need my powder brush. I am gonna set under my eyes, powder brush, vanilla dust. I'm just touching it. That makes me control the amount. Too much powder will age me there so much. So I'm just going to tap it on. I like to tap in again and kind of just get rid of a little bit of excess shine. And then I usually just set anywhere that I could possibly have creasing. I don't feel like I applied a whole lot today, so I probably would be fine not doing it. I typically never crease there, but under my eyes is a different story. So I'm gonna set my eyelids so it's prepped for eyeshadow, and I'm done with the powder. Guys, we're already to my favorite part, picking a lip and cheek. Now, if you didn't see, we did have like 4 brand new shades of the season drop. I really want to just use one on my cheeks today. Can you guess which one? So we have Spellbound, Ever Red, and this is Tango. I don't have the other one in here, but I really am thinking to use Spellbound. And I'm thinking a little bit something different on my lips. I feel like Spellbound is so versatile. I've worn it a few times now because you can apply very little of it and it just like gives that like purple undertoned color. You guys know I like that kiss of color, nothing too bold, but I've also put it on bold and it's gorgeous. So gives you a lot of versatility. So let's pop it out here so I can control. I've also gotten comments from clients already saying how long wearing this color is. And I truly think it's because it's a matte and it is very pigmented. The more pigmented our shades are, the more long wearing they are. Like always have been. They just almost stain the skin. That sounds bad, but like they really do. And you can use them as a stain on the lips really easily too. So I'm just gonna barely tap in until I already got a lot. Okay, smile, outside apples. And I'm barely touching my face so I can control how much of this color, because again, very pigmented. And I really want to do a bold eye look and I don't want like too much on my cheeks. Isn't that pretty? I love the tone. Whew. If you missed, what was the last one? Renaissance. This is the closest thing we've ever had to it. Renaissance was a little bit more brown. This one's a little bit more purple, which I if you like cool tones, this is just so good because I feel like it's kind of like a nice middle ground. It's kind of purple. You see that? It's a very beautiful mauve, red-ish. Like it has both purple and red in it. So that's why I feel like it works for so many people. Well, that was easy, super fast. Let's do Illuminator real quick. I'm gonna use Nova. Ever since we launched this, it has been my go-to in my palette. And that bronzy tone, golden glow, it's great for fall. I mean, I'm gonna wear this all year round, let's be honest, but it's beautiful. And then for lips, I wanted to do something different. And I know we have these new shades, but I really kind of wanted to use Tango, but use it with another very popular fall, epitome of fall kind of tone. Can you guys guess which one I'm thinking? Okay, Sandstone. So Sandstone is like a very popular fall tone. Like it's so pretty. It's kind of that terracotta, warm brown, kind of leans red, but has more brown in it. It's not my favorite on the lips, I'll be honest, not by itself. I have to almost, well, I mean, I always put a gloss over everything, but I'm really curious what it would look like with Sandstone and Tango. So we're gonna try it. I haven't tested it yet. I mean, I could probably test it on the back of my hand first, but I haven't. So a little bit of balm because the mattes are dry on my poor, always dry lips. I'm gonna use Suede. Hopefully it's dark enough. If not, I might have to bust out the indigo. I really wasn't planning on doing a very deep lip either, because again, you guys know me. I want a dramatic eye. Okay, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of Sandstone, my finger. This one is a very creamy matte, FYI, if you don't have it. Like, it's pretty pigmented. The sun's starting to come out if my light's changing. And it's not bad on me. I just feel like it's a little, I don't know. It's not my favorite. I feel like it washes me out. Like anything too warm or too cool isn't my favorite. I like warm and cool shades, but anything too cool looks gray and anything too warm washes me out, in my own personal opinion. I mean, it's okay, but it's not my favorite. So let's try Tango, which is the new, it's like a glossy, I think it's more like a peachy pink. So, you know, gotta put a gloss over any matte anyway. Okay, see, I like this color. It's very, I don't know, I toned it down just enough and glossified it, of course. Should I put Sunshine State over it? Is it okay if we just agree from here on out? I'm gonna put Sunshine State over everything I ever do. There's Sunshine State. I did do a look last week and it was Spellbound with Sunshine State and it's just so good, that gold glow. It just takes it up a notch, right? Okay, what do you guys think? I like this combo a lot. All right, let's do some eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my brows real fast because let's be honest, that part takes forever. It would help if I had an eyeshadow brush or eyebrow brush. Where is it? Oh, there it is, okay. Line brush, my Trust eyeshadow, and I'm just gonna kind of outline and fill. Okay, friends, let's do some eyeshadow. I've got a palette picked out. My first thought was Sunset, but I didn't want to do like the traditional like ombre from light to dark or dark to light. Those are both options. I just wanted those tones, I guess you could say. And so I picked out ones that complemented the sweater, of course. So let's go ahead and swatch these real quick. Surprise, surprise, Drift. It's gonna be my highlight. The reason why I'm always drawn to this is that it's not cool, not too warm. It's just, it complements my skin tone, which is why I'm like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, I don't necessarily feel like you have to have a different highlight shade for every look. Like, sometimes I play with other ones, but this is a staple. So, okay, lid shade. A lot of these are some of my very favorite shades we have. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna create a look with all of them. Bright Eyes, okay? I wear this all year. It's a staple in my palette. If I'm traveling, it will always and forever be in there. I can literally just throw it on and it's super easy and it looks good with everything. So Bright Eyes is gonna be my lid shade. That is my 3 shade. So we got the 1 shade, 3 shade. And then I'm kind of switching it up. I got a 4, I think both of these I consider 4 and 4-5 maybe. I've got Holly, okay, which is that beautiful, it's very similar in tone, I feel like, to Sandstone. It's kind of that red undertoned neutral. And then I've got Butterscotch, which is more of the warmer side. It's like Bubba on steroids. If you like Bubba, Butterscotch is just kind of like a little bit darker. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna use that to open up the eye. And then probably my favorite neutral dark shade, Cocoa. It's got just enough like purple and warmth in it. It's got both purple, but I consider it a warm brown. It looks cool when I step back, but I consider these all pretty warm. Cocoa would be the most cool, I'd say. So we're doing like sunset eyes, but not with like bright pops of color. I thought about doing them with brights. Let me know if you'd like to see that. But this one is more of like an everyday neutral, but fall. Like, think, what colors do the leaves change to? To me, it's this. So the leaves are starting to change outside. I'm very excited. So instead of the reds and purples, let's go into those more like brown neutral fall tones, okay? So where shall we start? I'm gonna start with Holly. And I'll be honest, Holly doesn't blend out great on me. So I'm gonna start with it so that way I can use those other shades to kind of correct it as I go. But we're gonna go ahead, clean off the brush. We're gonna go in with Holly, tap off excess, and we're gonna go right into the crease. And I'm barely touching because this color is very pigmented. You can tell it's so pretty on, but it can be a little bit intimidating. If I'll go through each color with some good, I guess, alternatives after we're done, okay? Because there are definitely other colors that could be used in place of these. But whew, it can be very bold as well. So I'm gonna get off excess. And I kind of want to I always like to start in the crease so that way I can build off of that. Okay, so I've got that color down. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with Bright Eyes next. And I'm just going to use my finger and tap it on the lid. This is what's gonna catch the light. And it is a very neutral brown, but it leans towards more of a golden brown, okay? Now I'm gonna go ahead and just do my brightener real quick. So let's go into the small end of the eyeshadow brush. And I'm just going to, oh my gosh, I literally just missed and got it right where I say don't put it. If you have mature eyes, do not get it there. Just go to the flattest part of your my gosh, tear duct. That's what it's called. Took me a second, guys. Okay, up under the brow. Blend so it keeps it real nice and high and not on the hood. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the smudge brush. I'm gonna go into Cocoa next. I'm gonna just tap, tap, tap. And then we're gonna go to that inner corner. I can't see in the phone because it is getting bright outside and everything looks blown out. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of build up Cocoa until it's at the depth I want. Okay, just kind of stamping. I literally do nothing with this brush but stamp. Because it's so dense, if I was to try to blend like this, it would move my eyelid, and I have way too much mature eyes for that. Like, I can't move my eyelid around. Nothing would blend, it would just move the skin. So, tap, 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 tap into the crease. Okay, and at this point, I usually like to kind of assess and be like, all right, do I need to blend? Oh yes, yes I do. So I flip over that smudge brush, and I like to use this, and again, tap. Almost like pressing to blend that color out. I don't like harsh lines. It's a pet peeve of mine. Okay, but we're not done. So I told you earlier, like Holly just doesn't blend great on me. You can kind of see like you've almost lost that tone. I'm gonna go back in it. And here's where I like to build it back up. Because you wanna see that pop. Okay, and you notice I'm kind of going in maybe barely on the hood here, and that's because we're not done. We haven't used a shade yet. Remember, clean fingers are always great tools. Okay, now that I can see that color with my eyes open, now if I kind of relax, you can kind of see, like, it droops, right? Like, we want to give lift, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take right above that. It's going to blend that out, and it's going to kind of lift. This is where we go in with a warm shade. This is like one of my favorite tricks. It finishes the look so good every time. So we're gonna go into, I keep saying butterscotch. Did I say butternut before? Butternut, butterscotch. It's butterscotch. Why can't I remember that? We're gonna go into butterscotch, and we're going to go right above that right there. I got too much on the brush. You can see the actual line. Use that brush cleaning tile and blend. We don't want a harsh line. Okay, now I always feel like my eye is so off balance when I have nothing underneath my eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with butterscotch underneath. You see how much more balanced that is, okay? Now you gotta be careful when you're using any kind of red tone underneath the lash line on the lower lashes. Like, it can really pull your eyes red. Depends on your skin tone. If you can rock a really warm eye, you're probably fine. I like to just use barely any, maybe just in the outer corner, see what it looks like and kind of reassess. And I feel like I'm just gonna stick with butter squash. No, buttersquash is not it. Why do I keep making up all these words? Anyway, butter, no, butter, what is it? Butterscotch. Did I say squash? Butterscotch. Gosh, guys. Maybe I need to label my eyeshadows. I haven't had to do that in 6 years. Okay. Now let's finish off the eye with liner and use that Cocoa again. So I've got a couple colors here. I don't know which one I want to use. So Kat Von D ink liner is like my go-to. It's like a felt pen, right? When I want a lot of depth at the lash line, when I feel like my lashes are getting lost in my eyeshadows, I tend to go with black. I think I'm gonna try this one. This is Fenty Beauty's Fly Liner. It's color Big Truffle. Same kind of tip, but it is like a really beautiful brownish burgundy, which you guys know me and my love for that tone. So I'm gonna use this to create that depth at my lash line, and then I'm gonna set it. You can probably tell like it gives definition, but it doesn't give as much depth as that black. But I'm gonna go back over it, kind of set it. This one takes a little bit longer to dry, I feel like, than the ink, but I'm gonna use the multitasker and that cocoa. And we're just gonna stamp over that line. Okay, and then every time I do that, I also take a little bit, I have to be able to see for this, right in that outer corner. Blend. Dust off any fallout. I'm gonna finish with mascara on the lower lash, and I'll be right back after I do this eye. All right, friends. There's the finished look. What do you guys think? Did we capture the tone of leaves falling in fall? I just love fall. Gosh, it's my favorite. These tones are, I mean, I wear them all year round, let's be honest, but I feel like you can just get away with it more. When it's fall, it just, you feel like, it's just a mood, right? So there you go. Those are all the shades. Oh yeah, let's go over some alternates, okay? Colors that are similar in case you don't have these, because I feel like we do have quite a few. Okay. Obviously, if you don't have Drift, Sabrina, that was a horrible swatch. Sabrina, almost the same. Okay, Bright Eyes. I think you could go, if you want more gold, Gold Digger. If you want more the color of my sweater, Ginger. And if you want more neutral, Foxy. Okay, you see all of those. They're all in the same family, but like all of these colors would look so beautiful with this look. Like no doubt in my mind, that kind of palette. You Complete Me is another good one. It's just got a little bit more mauve red in it. Okay, and then what was next? Holly. Most definitely, if you don't have Holly, but you have Zion. Zion is, let's see, here's Holly, here's Zion. I find it more of a 4 shade, and this is more of a 4-5. It's still the same undertone, it's just not nearly as deep, but it's got that same undertone. What was next? Cocoa. Cocoa, I would say, honestly, I think Revival is very close. And you guys know I use that probably way too much. But there's Revival, and there's Cocoa. See that? Cocoa's more cool. I feel like Revival's got more purple in it. There's also Philly, which is another warm brown, but I feel like it doesn't have as much purple. It's a warm brown, but it's not nearly as purple. Not my best swatches, guys. Which one was which? Cocoa Revival Philly. Very similar. And then in the way we used butterscotch, in order to just kind of add that warmth above your hood, you could do that with a lot of shades. So there's Bubba. My gosh, let's swatch that a little bit. I feel like the sun coming out is making everything blown out. There's Bubba. So here's Butterscotch. Okay, it's like a darker version. There, that might help. I feel like out here it looks weird. And then if you want a little bit more of a pop, Tangerine. I use Tangerine in the same way. I just use less of it usually. You usually need less of it. And then you can also use Leo and even Havana, which is a little bit more coral. But all of those with that kind of warm undertone that are matte up there on the hood, all of those work really well with them. Another one I was thinking of using on the lid would be Crush. I feel like I use that a lot. But if you want like a much more subtle version of this, Crush is just a little bit of Catching Light. It's still in that kind of warm family, but do you see how subtle that is in comparison to all of these? No, probably not because the light sucks. But these are all more of like foiled. And if you maybe don't wear a lot of shimmers, you could keep it matte and go in with something like Valencia, something else in that kind of fall tone leaf category. That was a really scientific way of saying fall tones. There you go. I hope that was helpful. You guys know me, I could talk eyeshadows all day. So if you have a color you would love to see in a fall look, I am just in the mood to do all the fall eyes. So drop it in the comments and be like, I want to see a look with this. Now, I don't think I can make some of our colors into fall looks, like Bayou, for example, does not scream fall to me. But most of the other ones, like I think plums, mauves, warm tones, obviously, even greens, can really scream fall. Okay. Bayou, I don't know. I don't know if even I could think of a way to make that one work. But you guys understand. If you want to see a shade, drop that in the comments. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of tutorials over on Instagram as long as I possibly can, as long as it's fall. So give me some ideas of colors you want to see. I hope that was helpful. As always, if you are needing help with your 3D foundation, if you're needing a color match, if you're needing an eyeshadow match, I do all of them. Now they're all separate questionnaires, so I will link each one separately down below. I can link my eyeshadow resource if you want to learn more about my categories and my eyeshadow system of teaching, and then also eyeshadow matches I'm now doing separately, as well as 3D matches, which I include some eyeshadows in there, but the eyeshadow one is just only eyeshadows. And I think that's all I've got for now. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy fall. I'll see you guys next week. Love you.